Welcome to Old Line Cryptids, number 10, Jeffrey. Excuse me, Cracker T. Cracker T. Number 10, brother.
We got Barry Browning to thank for that.
Barry Browning. We got to
Told me I'd be in trouble if I didn't use that tonight.
Okay. And for what's this, like 3 or 4 shows in a row now, Brother Blalack is back. Brother Blalack has agreed to talk about certain things. That's agreed. If, in fact, we do anything else, it will be later in the show. So
it'll be at the end. It'll be the finale.
It'll be the grand finale. So anyway, hope everybody's doing well. I know this Eastern time hurts everybody. It lives west of the Appalachians, really. So, but anyway. Yeah. David, for goodness sakes, we're going to try to get through at least one show of plenty of, we'll just call it hominid stories. Something stories.
Exactly.
Wildlife. We'll call it wildlife stories tonight. Hairy wildlife stories. How's that? But it's good to have you back again, brother. And here we got a fourth person in the background there. So. Kind of sounds like little Cracker Tea. So, anyway. But anyway, yeah, we definitely want to try to turn. We're going to turn this over today. I have a few questions here and there, and I'm sure Jeff will as well. But by all means, man, the floor is yours. Let's start into hominids or something first, and then maybe we'll delve into something a little different.
Okay. So I can't even honestly, because of how everything's kind of been messed up with the internet and the disconnecting and stuff. I'm not even honestly sure what I've actually been able to even tell so far.
What you've told so far has had nothing to do with feet on the ground. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Everything else has been flying. So
no, different show. Step back, Dad.
So
no.
Okay.
That's happened up in there. So those experiences that I've had, me and Dee Dee and stuff, has been while elk hunting up here, which is during the end of August, September. And so we're not necessarily out like looking for.
I know a different show.
I'm sorry, David. Go ahead. Jeff, I don't mean to mute you. That's really loud. Okay. It's okay. It's okay. I know. We understand.
I think it's cute. I love it.
It is. That's fine. But
yeah,
go ahead.
That's the good stuff right there.
Yeah.
Dad, give me a show.
Hi, Misty. Well, thanks for Sandra. How are you? Chat's going to get a little busy. Anyway, David.
I can't.
Okay.
Yes, Pat, I want to thank you for being here, and I love you guys, and I'm glad you're here, and hopefully we can actually get through a show this time. But as I was saying, that most of the stuff that's ever happened was not going out and looking. It wasn't going out and doing like anything at night, or it was basically most of the stuff that's happened has been while we were elk hunting and camping. And so, there I see chat. But so like one interesting story, and I told this to Cliff Brackman, Finding Bigfoot. I went to his museum, which is in a town called Boring, Oregon. Yeah, it sounds like it is Boring, Oregon. It's a little bitty hick town. Went in there, met him, really nice guy. And he was asking me about, have you ever basically like been looking at something and your eyes been fooled at what you're looking at? I was like, well, I kind of had a story happen. So me and Dee Dee were driving up this road, and we're like, it's like an hour and a half up these gravel roads to get up there. And we were driving and going, we hadn't elk hunted up this road for a long time. So we thought, hey, let's just take a drive up there and look. And we were driving, we were about 4 miles off this little side road, It was kind of a steep climb, and the road kind of wound back and forth and stuff. And Dee Dee was driving, and which if nobody knows, that's my wife, Dee Dee. Anyway, and I was on the passenger, and we're in my truck, and my truck sits kind of tall, and I had my head out the window and my arm out the window, watching my side for elk, and I see these. They were elk hides. There was a couple elk hides and a bunch of bones and stuff. So I said, "Hey, babe, stop, stop." So she stopped, and I had just gotten these brand new Vortex.
Call your wife babe? Oh, you call your wife babe?
What?
You call your wife babe?
Babe, yes, I do.
Wow. Okay.
I know. She calls me babe too, even after 30 years.
Trust me, give it a couple minutes. Mine's going to be in the chat with our nicknames. So I should just kept my mouth shut, but go ahead. There we go. I told you. She's already in there. She'll drop the bomb here in a minute. Don't worry.
Anyway. She will.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's all right. That's all good. I love this show, man. So she stopped, and I took out my brand new binoculars. They're like high power binoculars. And I'm literally, it's the road kind of does a switchback, I'm trying to get my hand in the camera. It just does like a real hard switchback. And down in that draw, it's kind of a steep draw, and there's a lot of brush and stuff, but it's kind of open right there. And I take my binoculars and I'm looking, and there's like 7 full elk skeletons. Not like they'd been like quartered out, or, like a hunter had cut them up into pieces or anything, like full elk skeletons. And there was even what looked like elk hides, like draped over some brush and stuff. And I'm like, "Whoa, babe, there's like a bunch of elk skeletons down there." She's like, "What?" Because she couldn't see. She's in the driver's side, and I'm looking down steep off my side. I'm like, and I was like, "Yeah, babe, there's like 7 elk skeletons." And I said, one of them is even draped over. It looked like, so our old growth trees are, they're like 5, 6, 7 foot in diameter. Some are way bigger than that. But like your average, stump could be like 5, 6 foot diameter. And this elk skeleton was laying like on the top of this stump, draped over it. And the stump was like a reddish, it looked like a rotten stump, like red and kind of black and kind of that rotty wood look to it and stuff. And I'm looking through binoculars at this, and I'm literally talking, this is like 20 or 30 yards from me. It's not like I'm looking at hundreds of yards. It's just right off the road, right in that little draw. And we're sitting there, and I'm explaining it to her, and I'm like, "Can you see it?" And she's trying to lean up, and look out my window, and it's so steep she can't quite see. And while we're sitting there talking, we hear this just like plain as day crack. And it was literally, because I had my head out the window, and it was like right down below the skeletons and stuff, where you couldn't quite see, in the brush, but just like, and I jerked my head around and looked at Dee Dee, and her eyes were big, and I was like, kill it. So she shut the truck off, because I just wanted to, make sure. I just wanted to hear. So she killed the truck. And I was like, "Babe, did you hear that?" And she was like, "I did." And I was like, "That was a stinking tree knock." And she goes, "I heard it." And while we were talking, just again, I got goosebumps, because we'd just had our experience in 2019 up in the same area where the one roared at us. And I think I told you guys, right? Did I ever tell you guys that one on your show?
I don't recall
Jerry?
it. I don't recall it.
Okay.
I think it cut out before we got to that.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell that story next, though. I thought I'd told that, so that's why I kind of skipped to this one. I'll back up after this one. So we just had that experience. And so I was like, "Babe, that was a knock." And she's like, "I know, I heard it." And both of us, like, I was like, let's go. Because it was literally like 30 yards from us. And it was like 2 loud knocks. Why I'm sitting there looking at these elk carcasses, the elk skeleton. It was like full skeletons, no meat, no hide, weren't broke apart. They were still basically together. if there was loose bones, they were all still laying in the shape of like an elk skeleton. And my mind's, while we're sitting there looking at them and talking, I'm thinking, well, could it be hunter, like poachers dumping skeleton, like poaching elk and dumping them off that corner? But there's no way they would have rolled full elk skeletons off. I don't know. It just didn't add up. It could be whatever. I'm not saying. All I'm saying is that's what we were sitting there looking at then, and twice.
Yeah.
And so we're like, let's go. And so she fired up the truck and we peeled on out of there. And literally we were talking for like a mile or two. We talked for like hours after that, but for like a mile or two while she was driving, I'm like, babe, just go. And I kept like looking behind us, watching to see if we were being followed or whatever, watching inside the trees and stuff, on total edge. Like my hair is standing up right now. And so we finished that hunt. And this was like a day hunt. We had drove up there today. We weren't camping up there at this time. And literally this is about maybe 5 or 7 miles or something like that. If you drove gravel roads, as crow flies, it'd have been like 3 or 4 miles probably. Driving the roads, it was like 5 to 7 miles from where I'm going to tell you the story that led up to this. And so we already, like, we didn't even want to go back up hunting really, but we did. And so this happens. And so we finished the evening out hunting. That was kind of middle of the day. We finished out, basically just road hunting, drove roads, got back to my house, and I was talking to my phone and stuff. Cindy, she had experience that I'm going to tell you leading up to this. She was with us. I'm like, you're not going to believe what happened. And I told her what happened. And she's like, oh, I want to go. I was like, I'm never going up there again. That's really how I was. I'm like, I'm not, because I wasn't looking for them. I was hunting. And I was like, I'm not going back up there again. And for a week, she was like, brother, take me up there. I want to go. And I was like, babe, I was like, Dee Dee, you want to go back there? Like, yeah, let's take her. So there's still elk season, so I have my bow and stuff, and drive over and get to the spot. I mean, exact same. We this country back of our hands, and park there. Start looking. There was the only thing was what looked like white, like if you skin an animal and its hide was laying there, the flesh side, how it turns kind of white. A chunk of that was still laying there. No skeletons. And the weirdest, this is what got me, and this is what I told Cliff Brackman. I was like, the weirdest thing was there was not even an old growth stump there anymore. There was no stump there. I mean, and I literally was looking at this stump through my binoculars 3 yards from there. Cindy, we up here got there. Skeletons were, and we got out and standing there. And I was like, well, wait, where's the stump? Back in my iron, standing about, no stump. And before I could finish my story with Cliff Brackman, he was like, the stump was gone, huh? I was like, yeah. He goes,
we knew it was going to happen.
That is one of the most scary that we get. And it just, the only thing, I mean, yeah, and I couldn't explain it. Just sitting there going to show my sister what happened, and suddenly the skeletons are gone, and there's no old growth stump there at all. And I know this, stumps don't just get up and walk off.
Right.
So I don't know, I've been a flesh and blood pretty much my whole life, because I didn't know about them my whole life. But when I started having stuff, I believe they were flesh and blood. But infrasound they were making different, or I don't know how to explain that. I don't even know. And that's what I told people. Were like, because I've told this on Sawdust Beast and stuff, and I think I told it on Woodwalk maybe, and people I can't deal. So you're saying, and I was like, man, what experience? Explain it.
David, I'm going to stop you there because you're really starting to bust up really bad.
David, try turning your
That was the
camera off. Turn the camera off.
Stop yelling.
I think it might work if you turn the camera.
He's probably going to have to go out and come back in.
Is that better?
Yeah, try that now,
That sounds
David.
a lot better.
Nope, can't hear nothing. Yep. I was going to say, go out and come back in. Well, we got that far with him. We got almost 20 minutes out of him. Mark Plowboy Green's in the chat. Harley's in here. House is in the house, as I like to say. Yeah, man. Sharon. Oh, my goodness. What are we going to do with Mr. Blalack? So much to say and just can't keep him on here. You're going to unmute yourself, Jeff, or are you going to?
Sorry, I'm trying to multitask.
Oh, my Lord, we're in trouble. Okay, he's back.
Hold on.
Let's see if we got him this time. Okay, David, we got you back.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yeah, I think him
That
and
is
River are
so
going to have to be
weird.
cameraless.
Yep. Go ahead, David.
Where did you guys lose me at?
I think we were talking about the stump that disappeared.
Yes. The stumps don't get up and walk away. Yeah.
Okay. That's right. And then I was saying that people in chat on that the show that I told that on, they were like, "Oh, I can't listen to this. This is too much." And I was just like responding like, "I'm just telling you what I experienced. I'm not saying what it was or what happened. I just know that me and my wife were both there and we both experienced that."
Okay.
And so if you guys can still hear, I can kind of go back to the story that happened before that. It was
Yes. Yep.
in 2019, this happened.
Yep. Okay.
Okay. So we were camping. We had camped in this area for like, I don't know, since 2004 or something like that. And never had anything happen, never had anything that would make you wonder or, or suspect. And in 2019, we went up there and we were camping. And this was a new spot that we camped, but we were still up in that general area. It's called the Elliott State Forest in Oregon. And it's a huge area. I mean, like 200,000 square or 200,000 acres or something like that. It's really big. And so we had camped there, and my sister followed us up there in her car, and it was her first time ever up into this area. And so we get up there. It was on Thursday evening. We set up our camper. We took our camper off our truck. We had a truck camper, like overhead camper on our truck at the time. Got our camper off. My sister kind of got her car settled. I went and got my trail camera, checked the camera, and I just had elk and deer and stuff on that. And then we were going to spend Friday scouting, just driving around, showing her the area and scouting for elk. And elk season started on Saturday. So that night, about 10 o'clock in the evening, while we were still kind of setting up camp, my sister has really good hearing. I'm pretty deaf. Like, I actually have hearing aids. I'm not wearing them at the moment, but I wear hearing aids. And I didn't have my hearing aids at that time. So this is in 2019, and this was like August 26th, I think, of 2019. And about 10 o'clock at night, and we're just finishing setting up camp and getting ready to kind of settle in. And
Okay, David, time out. Time out, brother. Go back out, come back in and pick up there from there. Try it again.
It's like the government doesn't want him talking about it.
Nah, it's just the signal drops off. It's okay. He'll come back in. Bear with us, folks. We'll get his story.
Well, I guess while we're waiting on that, I'm going to say I found that I talked to some more people in that Cecil area.
Yep.
Man.
Interesting area too.
And the more I look into that over there, the more people start saying, "Oh yeah, there's a lot of stuff that goes on around here."
Yeah, if we just get them to talk, I mean, they don't.
Well, the problem is finding the other, like, they know there's stuff going on.
Sure.
And there's a lot of. I'm finally got 2 guys today that are willing to talk about it. So, wish I could have gotten a hold of them. I didn't even know those 2 were into it. We were talking about deer hunting today, and one of them said something about Bigfoot, and I looked at him and I went, "Oh, you've." Well, it just so happens that.
Yeah. Stupid internet.
Stupid.
Hey, he's back.
Turn the camera off.
that is
Turn the camera off.
Calm down, Jeffrey.
a whole lot.
Okay.
Off.
Try it again.
You had unhooked your camper. That was where we were at.
Yeah.
Dad, I'm going with you.
Well.
David?
Well. You done scared him off? You yelled at him. Turn your camera off!
Shit.
Yeah, what he said. He'll try it again. I know it's getting frustrating for him.
It's us Marylanders. That's what it is.
Yeah, it must be. Must be.
I don't know why everything's so amplified when I have these headphones in.
You should be on the other end of your voice. You talk about amplified.
I don't know why it's so loud.
It's all good. It's all good.
I wonder if there's a volume control on this thing.
Yeah, Greg, that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like before the show started, we were talking just fine. There was no interruptions, no dropping off, no nothing. With the camera on, as soon as you go live, man, and get into it, you got about 20 minutes out of it without any problems. And that's when it all goes downhill. It's weird. Crazy weird. I don't know.
Yeah, but I guess we could talk about Cecil for a little bit.
Yeah, there's going to be some stuff coming up.
Yeah.
Us getting over there. I mean, I have a super busy schedule. The next couple of months, really busy, but
and I'm going to try to do some night riding.
Yeah, Men in Black stepping in. Could be. Who knows? Yeah, I want to definitely get over there and check those areas that he's okay. And there's another trip coming up for us soon here. So over here at our lovely state park, that I'm chomping at the bit to get back over there for sure. Oh yeah, oh yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Too.
Everything along the river.
This river is happening, man. I'm telling you.
It doesn't matter. I've been hearing so much, people saying they've heard weird stuff, but
Yeah.
nothing like definitive.
Is your kid doing karate off camera?
He's not, but it sounds like he is.
But it's anywhere like along Deer Creek here. Deer Creek isn't. I'm telling you, through this county, Deer Creek from one end to the other is crazy happening. I think. We just got some reports up in Hidden Valley. Of course, he just muted himself, so you can't confirm that. But we got some information about that, and there's been ongoing previous history of that. That area is very promising.
And
all along Deer Creek is very promising.
Not just Bigfoot.
No. Yeah, we can talk about Dueyo. We can.
Yeah, there's Dueyo up there. There's Dueyo in that area too.
And Dueyo, if nobody knows, Dueyo is very Maryland for dog man, unfortunately. So, yeah, that's we found some information regarding the Dueyo and the Snallygaster actually being quite the battle back in the day between the two. We got to dig some more information up on that and bring that forth. That's pretty cool stuff. They fought quite a bit. It's interesting. So, again, old folklore, but how true it is, we got to dig and see. But, yeah, Deer Creek, Broad Creek up through here, which is right here where I'm at, which is but 5 miles from you, Jeff. And I know what's happened around here and some other stuff that's been reported to me through a couple of conversations for sure. I mean, the latest one I will go ahead and talk about was the latest. I don't know how far back it was, but I think it doesn't go any older than 2020, which makes everything that I was on Spencer's show talking about in that time frame explains it all. And that was somebody in a field down here, just right down where I've seen and heard everything. And they stopped the car because something was in the field, and they got yelled at, like you witnessed. And of course, they freaked out, got in the car and took off, and it took off. But evidently, it was a pretty good yup, whatever it was.
Was it a daytime or a nighttime?
I don't know an exact time of day. I didn't hear the word night, so I'm going to assume it was a daytime sighting because they seen it. That's why they, slammed their brakes on, stopped the car, got out, and looked, and it yelled at them. I don't know how far away, how close. That's details I got to find out, but that's another one that I've heard about. So.
Well, the guys I talked to that were in the Octorara area, they said that most of what they've heard noises, they've had rocks thrown. One of them thinks they actually saw one pacing them through the trees once.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's all in that that area where who saw his.
Yes,
it's crazy, not far from there.
Crazy cool photograph. If that's one who I'm thinking you're talking about. Photographs. You're talking about the one with the really good photographs.
No, I'm talking about a certain old associate.
Okay. Yes. Yeah,
that too. Not far from that area.
Yeah, right. Correct. Yeah.
But that's. And I've heard other rumors coming from around some of those scout camps.
Yes.
What is it about scout camps?
Well, they're not always frequented all year long. Usually a lot of wildlife. This particular one here near me has not a huge lake, but a sizable lake. And again, as I've spoke of before, it's got reports of vocalizations over there of something. Their big cats have been heard there too, but this is something totally different, vocalization wise over there. So let me get David in here. Hi, David.
Their stupid
Hey, can you
internet's
guys
back.
hear
Stupid internet's back.
me? Stupid internet.
Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about a couple of local things here that's come forth to us here recently, and
Maybe I should just listen to you guys.
by all means, this is all about you. The floor is yours if you quit slipping and falling.
Man, it's bad. I had my son check
Uh-huh.
out my phone settings and the connection and all that, and
Yeah.
he said everything looks good. I'm connected to, he's got 5G, so I don't know why it's doing this.
It sounds really good right now. It's not even breaking up any, so why don't you just take it away?
And I did turn my phone off and restart it, so I don't know if that
Okay.
had anything to do with it or not.
Hard to say, but the floor is yours.
Okay.
Where do you
I don't
leave off, Jeffrey?
I think he left off when we were talking when he was unloading his camper.
Okay. So it had been about, we'd unloaded the camper, we're finishing setting up camp and stuff, and it was evening, it was getting close to dark, and so I ran like about I don't know, 300 or 400 yards. And I had a trail camera set up there just for elk. This is all for elk. This wasn't boogering or anything like that. And so I'd had it set up there for like 2 months. So I ran up there and got my card out of my camera, checked it out. It was all elk and deer. And it got to be about 10 o'clock at night. And my sister has really good hearing, and I don't have very good hearing. My wife has good hearing, but maybe not as good as my sister. I don't know. But my sister was like, "Oh, we got company." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she goes, "Well, somebody just banged something up on top of the hill right here." And she had never been here before. This is like her first time. And we pulled up there to set up camp. She was like, "Man, brother, this place is scary." I was like, "Yeah, but we've never had anything happen." I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty woolly. We call it pretty woolly." And so I was like, "What'd you hear?" And she goes, "It sounded like a bang, like a metallic bang up the hill." And like somebody setting up camp. And I was like, "Sister, I'm telling you right now, there's nobody up there. There's no roads. There's no access. It's like almost impenetrable to even try to slip through their hunting, or it's steep." So in this country around here, they'll plant trees when they do like a clear cut. They'll plant trees real close together, and they'll let them get to be like 20 foot tall. Then they'll send these crews in, and they'll thin these trees out, and they just dump these trees all over inside those, the standing trees. And it's like a thicket of down trees, and you can't hardly, you definitely can't hunt through it, but you could crash your way through it if you want to freaking bleed and stuff. But anyway, I was like, "There's no roads. There's nobody up there." She goes, "I'm telling you, I heard some bang up there." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm going to make a long story, because it is a long story. We were up there for 9 days. Every day, something was happening to where it sounded like stumps being ripped apart, which I told her it was probably bears ripping stump apart, because we had like the flying termites and stuff. And, it was like the bears like to rip tree stumps and tree logs apart and stuff. And like we heard a knock whoosh sound, like something like a bang, and then something going through the brush. And are you leaving? All right, see you later, man. Sorry. And so anyway, then it was about let me think here. This is 2019. So it was about like the 6th night or something like that, or 7th night. This was the only night we didn't have my lantern out or any lights outside. I didn't have my shotgun, which all leading up to this and stuff, I always had my shotgun. This was only for like predators, bears, mountain lions, anything like that. And I would have my shotgun leaning up against my camper trailer, my camper. It wasn't a trailer, it was a camper. And so this was the only night, it was kind of dark out. The only thing we had going was like one of those mosquito candles. It was like a candle, that citronella candle, and it was light enough where you can kind of see and stuff, but I didn't have my shotgun out. I didn't have my lantern out. And we were all three sitting there in our camp chairs. And every time my sister smoked cigarettes, and every time she would get up to smoke, she would kind of step out, because we were kind of off the edge of this gravel road and there was some grass and stuff. She would step up into the gravel road to smoke her cigarettes, just for fire danger and stuff. So I would get up and stand with her, and I had a headlamp on. It was a cheapie, like a Walmart special, and I had it on the green setting. You could have it on different settings. I had it on green settings because green settings like reflects eye shine really well. You can't see that far away with it, but if there's eye shine, then it lights up eye shine really well. So I had it on green setting. And so she gets up to smoke. And so I get out of my chair and I walk forward like 10 feet and stand there with her. I turn on my headlamp and I shine directly across the road from us, because that's like the closest woods. Then I turn to the right and look down the road that way, nothing. And I turn to the left, look down the road that way. And I'm telling you, there's like no other, we drove these roads. There was no other people there. That there was one camp that was like 5 miles from us on a gravel road. So there's nobody up there or nothing. It was not like, it's not like it was, I don't know, a camper or their dog or anything like that. It kind of takes that out of the equation. But I turn to the left and shine down the road, and she's lighting her cigarette. She's not even paying attention. And when I turn to the left, I'm like, there was eye shine right on the gravel road, like, but low down, like a couple feet off the road, off the ground level. And I was like, oh, we got eye shine. And
hey, Babe's
like,
here.
what?
Just so you know.
Did I lose you?
No. Just letting you know, Babe's in the house.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. I'm glad everybody's here. She knows this story. So I was like, we got eye shine. And my sister's like, we do. And Dee Dee was still sitting in her chair behind her camper. And she was like, we do? And I was like, yeah, right there. And while I'm looking at it, my mind is racing like, man, these eyeballs are huge. They're far apart and they're really close to the ground. And they're right on the edge of this gravel road. And on the edge of the gravel road, it dropped down, like on our side of the road, it dropped down like 5 or 7 feet or something, like a steep little drop. And then there's like a bench, like a flat bench that goes behind our camp, and it goes like 100 yards, and there's a creek, and then it goes up this big old steep ridge with big old growth, not old growth, but big timber on it. And she's like, oh, you do? And I was like, yeah, right there. And she walks up beside me. She looks, and she's like, she's like hyperventilating when she sees these eye shine reflection from my headlamp. She turns around, and she had her 2 little dogs with her. They were in her car, but her windows were down. And in like her panic mode, she turns around, walks back, and gets in her car, turns keys on, and rolls her windows up, shuts the car. And the whole time I'm sitting there, I mean, I haven't taken my eyes off this thing. I'm just staring at it. And these eye shines are just staring at me. And I mean, we have bears. We don't have grizzlies here, right in this area, but we have big, huge black bears. We have elk, which are 1,000 pounds, mountain lions. I mean, everything, black-tailed deer. We have all that, like big game animals and stuff. But these eyes were like huge and far apart, like a foot apart. And when I say huge, we're talking the eye shine was like, the shine itself was like an orange size. I don't know how actual big the eyeballs were, but the shine was like big. And so she's going back to roll up the windows in her car, and I'm still staring at it, and it's still staring at me. and it's not blinking, it's not moving. You can tell when if something like eye shine's looking at you, if they turn their eyes, it changes the eye shine. Like you can tell their eyes are moving. This thing was locked on me. And she comes back, walking back up after she rolls up the window, and she looks again, and we're still locked on. And she walks up and she looks and she's like, again, and like hyperventilates and walks back. And I'm about that time, I'm like, babe, I need my shotgun and the flashlight right now. Because that stuff was still in the trailer. This was the only night, we'd been there for like 6 or 7 nights. So it was like we were just hanging out, getting ready to go to bed, actually. And so I hear Dee Dee go in the trailer or in our camper, and I can hear like dump, dump, dump. And I can tell she's looking for getting a flashlight, and she has to climb up on our bed. I have our overhead camper that went on her truck. Our bed was like up. You had to climb up these little couple steps, and our bed was up on the upper level. And my shotgun was laying up there. So I could hear her get up in there. But the whole time I'm still staring at these eyes. And I can hear her getting that, and I can hear her walking through the camper. I can hear her come out the door and down the step, and she walks up, and the whole time I'm still staring. And she walks up and kind of bumps my left elbow, and like, here you go. And literally I turned my whole head. I just kind of a little bit my shoulder. I took my eye shine, but it was grab a shotgun and the flashlight, boom, light, same time in that direction. And we live in a rainforest, and it's like thick brush. I mean, LBL.
Yeah, you're cutting out again, David. We're losing you.
Areas, but this
Whoops.
thick is like
David.
There, you can't.
Brother Blalack.
Can't see anything there.
He's still on a roll.
Like a wall of bro.
Oh. David, are you?
It's not just patches. It's completely thick. And we'll
I'll send him a message. Yeah, we got gremlins again, Richard, for sure.
And look back, was gone.
Gremlins in the machine.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to feed those things after midnight.
Yeah. Okay.
Or get them wet.
Man, he was on a roll there pretty good, man, too. It was getting pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm actually texting that one guy from the Octorara right now.
Keep going.
Okay.
He wants me to come down and check out that area where he fishes at.
What did you say? Oh, okay. I thought you said something else. All right, so the basic deal.
What'd you say, Augie?
You know, I want it on speaker. Put the remote. No, I want it. Keep going. That one.
He's texting him real quick.
Greg, my kid was not doing karate, but you might as well sound like it.
Samurai. Little samurai chatter.
Samurai chick.
He's back. Stupid internet is back again. Hold on. Hi, Stoopy. How are you? Hello.
Beardless Lumberjack, where are you?
He's trying. It's still busted up, sounds like.
That Oregon internet.
Yeah. Don't sound too good, does it? Don't sound like it's... He's trying. We Go ahead, David.
David.
Am I on?
Yeah, you can try it now.
Life or death situation. No man left behind.
How about now? Oh,
Yeah, go ahead and try it, David.
Airport, this is going to signal the SWAT team to come in. Are you guys ready? 100%. No, but yeah. All right, here we go.
Nah.
He's not muted, is he?
No. Nope,
Man,
he's
this-
not muted.
This computer shit.
Yeah. Drive you nuts.
Yeah, that's
Such great names.
now I'm finally getting more stories. So
Yep.
this is going to open up some
Yeah.
stuff. Up.
Needs to borrow Greg's tin cannon string. Uh-oh.
Hey, it's like the Amish over there at D&J Farm Store. They holler down the pipe and use a bicycle horn
Yeah.
to let them know someone's coming to the back of the warehouse.
It works. Well, dagnabbit. You're doing so good.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the tin can string aren't long enough.
I think we're going to do is not go live with him and just let him tell a story, record it, and then
I might have to do that.
might have to do that. Then he can join in as it's playing in chat, and we can answer questions then, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's another thing we could do sometimes is do that
Mhm.
and then just
Mhm.
play it live and we can just be in the back.
Well, I'm thinking a lot of the local people that we can,
If
get
we
to
could
come
do it
on. We
during the
can
day
always
and then-
record them. Record them and then, play it.
Now,
That
do you ever
way,
do
just-
that with any of your stuff? No.
I haven't had to yet, but I mean, if it's a conflicting schedule and it's somebody we really want to get on there, yeah, we'll do it that way. We've never had to do it that way on the other show.
You don't have anybody important enough.
Yeah. I'm answering David. He's not here. Hold on a minute. I'm sorry. Bear with us, folks. You might have somebody else coming in here to tell the story. Okay. Be it a babe, we're trying to get one or the other on here. So. Get ready, Dee Dee. Link's coming at you to come on and tell the story. Babe would like you to come on and tell the story.
Oh, we got to get Mrs. Blalack to pick up where he left off.
Sure. His idea, that's fine with me.
He probably tells a better story anyway. Her internet's probably not messed up.
I'm not getting in the middle of that. Anyway, Jeffrey,
Yep.
when's your next planned ride over to the peninsula?
Well, I don't really have any plans Friday or not Friday, Saturday or Sunday night. So it might be both.
Very good.
I'm just going to look at some more spots and find some places to pull off the road and sit for a bit till I get more used to the area.
Yep, put you on the spot.
You can learn a lot about driving around places in the dark.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a couple over there that's got my that's caught my eye. I'm going to be checking into, and if it works out the way I want to, I won't be coming home. I'll be spending a couple days over there. So.
Well, when you driving around places like that out there, and you start seeing all those extra lights on some of those places.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see that. Yeah, that's interesting.
I know that Mark Green had mentioned that in some of the places where he's had activity in Alabama. A lot of the areas where people have seen them on roadside crossings, a lot of the houses around there always happen to have a bunch of lights.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure there's a story to it. So.
He told me he wants to pull
okay.
in there, but he doesn't want him to think he's crazy.
Yeah. It's understandable. So now it looks like we switched. We've got Babe 1 back in the chat over here, and we're still waiting on Babe 2. Or wait a minute, maybe she's Babe 1 and he's Babe 2. I don't know.
Oh, Lord.
So we'll see. Bear with us, folks. We're waiting on the storyteller. Yeah, there you go, David. Start typing. I have a question that I would like to know, and we got a few people here in chat. I've always wondered. That's my babe. I better answer that. You better not, woman. That's all I gotta say. I'm just kidding. So anyway, swim. I would like to know what kind of capabilities, if they have the capability, not so much like a creek, but like a river, such as Susquehanna, if they have the ability to get from one side to the other.
I think I've heard some people talk about that before.
Yeah. I'm curious about that. What their abilities are in the water. You know.
Greg's got the encyclopedia of knowledge. He could probably tell us.
Right. You still there, Jeffrey?
I'm here.
Okay. How about now?
Yep.
Okay.
Cracker Tea is still in the house. Cracker Tea's got his coffee tonight too.
Yeah, we got him. That's what I'm drinking too. Most definitely, and they heard they are great at it. So okay, that's my feeling too. I feel they are probably not as obviously as fluently on land as they are in water, but or vice versa. But I'm sure they can scale a river pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, if they're that good at moving through the woods, why wouldn't they be good in the water?
Right, exactly. Well, we know they might be able to walk on water. We don't know. Just saying.
Well, if I happen to see one doing that after I crap myself, I'll.
It changes the flesh and blood a little bit, doesn't it? Yeah.
Once I'm done having a heart attack, I'll call you.
Uh-oh. Will the real Babe please stand up?
Well, I'm not going to stand, actually.
Okay. Hi, Dee Dee. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Okay. Take over where he just can't seem to
finish.
Tell the story.
No offense, babe. Okay. So I think he was at the eye shine, and then it's conveniently stopped in the climax of the whole thing, because we saw eye shine, and I got the gun and the flashlight, and he just a split second looked away and grabbed it and had it back on the eye shine, and then immediately it was not there. So he lost eye contact with it, and then it was gone.
Interesting.
So that was not the. I'm sorry, the dogs are missing their dad.
Oh, I thought that was okay.
Oh, it's her squeaky toy. It's Peanut's squeaky toy.
We
So,
know it's David's squeaky toys. That's okay.
Yeah, David's play toy. So anyway, that was that, and didn't see it anymore after that. The next day we walked down to where we saw the eye shine, and we could see some scuff marks that went down the bank, like it had just left and went down into the little creek bed of where we would hunt, the elk and stuff. But it just slinked off the road, and then it was gone. So I can't remember how many days after that. There was other things that happened too, in between. It was like I heard an elk bugle, and I thought it was David. He had taken off, and just Cindy and I were at camp, and I had heard an elk bugle, so I thought, maybe it was David um, rousing up some elk, because he was going to go down and around the corner and come up the little draw that we were at, and work his way this way toward the camp. And I thought that that's what was going on when I heard the elk bugle, and I said, well, Sin, I need to go check that out, because I have an elk tag too. And so I went with my bow and walked down the little it's like a little creek bed on the side of it, and followed where I could hear, and walked up into um that little draw, and um all of a sudden we heard like a crash. So it's like I thought David was behind an elk, and he had shot. We were bow hunting, so you can't hear any shots or anything. So I thought he was on the elk, and it had went down. He had shot it, it went down, because I didn't hear it anymore bugling. Um, but I was trying to follow the tracks and follow the sound that I was hearing. Went up there, probably a quarter of a mile or so, and I heard this crash, kind of a big crash, and then nothing. No sound, no nothing. And then so I came back, and it was in a place where there was some reprod, what we call reprod, and it's real thick. They're like real young trees that haven't been skirted up or anything, so you can't get in there, and there's no roads that connect or anything up in that area. And I was thinking, that David was up there and he had got an elk, right? So I kind of backed off and came back to camp, and then probably 15 minutes after that, David had came back into camp, and he didn't know anything about what had happened. He didn't hear any elk. He didn't hear nothing. And he didn't go where I thought he was going. It was just me that was hearing elk, supposedly. Um, and he didn't see or hear anything. So that was really odd.
Yeah.
And so then it was like 9 days into that trip. Cindy was getting her buzz on, and we were sitting outside, and the dog was Peanut, the squeaky one, was needing to go to the bathroom before we went to hunt, and the next day. And so we were taking her out right before. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock, I think, or so. And so we were trying to get her to go to the bathroom before we headed up into the camper to go to sleep and go hunting the next morning. And so I was trying to get her to go, and she was like really nervous the whole time. And we've been sitting out, you know, outside, and there was like no reason why, other than the fact that Cindy was out there and she was hearing an owl, and so she was kind of trying to do a drunk owl call back. And so so they were, you know, ooh, 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 you know, kind of back and forth with each other. And I don't know if that was making Peanut nervous or whatever, but um so I said something like, well, Cindy, can you stop for a second so the dog won't be nervous, so she can do her thing, and then we can get her in the camper and be done. And so she stopped, and all that time she was recording on her phone, her doing her call. She heard it the next morning and everything. And so, you know, she was like, okay, cool. And then so she stopped, and then she stopped the recording on her phone. And it was like 3 seconds later, we heard an owl, hoo, 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 hoo. And then I heard yip, 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 yip. And then I heard, roar! It was the loudest bellowing of a growl or a roar. I think it was a roar, more like a roar, that I've ever heard. And it's nothing compared to a bear. It's not an elk, because they do a bugle. And it's not an owl. It's not a coyote. It's nothing that would make you, like, you know, want to poop your pants kind of thing. It was just, it was so loud and so overwhelming that we just, um it was like, oh crap. And um and everything was like stopped. And it was like, it was the feeling that you get when they don't want you there. You pissed them off. So we all looked at each other and we were like, well, okay, I think it's time to go. So we did. And we were like, just totally overwhelmed. And knowing that it was pissed off, and it was saying that they don't want us here anymore. What I thought, and what we thought after we were talking about this, was that it was saying that that we irritated them, and we were like in their area, and they didn't want us there anymore. So what we did was we packed up and we drove probably as fast as we ever have coming out of there, which was really fast. And Cindy was driving her car, and we were too. And then we went back up the next day, but it was so overwhelming, and so you know, that you're not wanted there, that you just need to go. So we did.
Wow. Yeah. That's reason enough, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It was for us. And we go back and go hunting there, but we don't camp in that area. We've camped probably about a mile away, maybe half a mile away, in some other places, but we don't camp there anymore.
Dee Dee, was that the only time you guys hunted that area?
Oh no. We've hunted that area. We've been up in Oregon for 20 years now.
But
And
that
so,
particular spot, was that an area you guys usually went to?
oh yeah. Yeah. It's on the 9,000 and the Elliott. Yeah. It's a place where we go every year when we are hunting elk. For the last,
you guys don't go to that section now.
oh yeah, we do. We
Oh,
go
you do?
hunting there, and we've
Oh.
hunted back in there, and walked all that area, but we don't camp right there. But we do camp in the other places in the Elliott that are away from there.
Now, when you lived in Alaska, was there ever anything up there?
No, not that I was aware of. I mean, I don't know, but not that anything that stood out to me.
That's interesting.
But it's almost like, yeah, it's almost like ever since then, you know, it's like we're knowers, so you look for it. And there's been
getting
other
screamed
times
at has a
too.
tendency to do that to you.
Yeah, I think so, because
I
it's
know.
happened here where we live too.
Yeah, I remember him saying that it's happened there too.
Yeah, at our house.
How often has it happened there?
It's not a lot. David's been whistled at.
Yeah.
Up on our upper flat area, and then there's been a few times like when his other sister Debbie came up, and we walked up a trail that a road, and there was some sounds and things, and then we've been talked back to when we've done calls and stuff.
Yeah.
Because we do them here, but there's been also instances like did he tell you about the time when we saw a bunch of carcasses of elk?
Yeah, he talked about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was like the next year, I think, after 2019. I think is when this happened, this main one. But I think it was the next year that we were hunting. Maybe it might have been later that season. I'm not sure. But it was really odd when that happened too. A stump that's not a stump.
Yeah.
That used to be a carcass.
The deer, the deer that you don't think's a deer.
Well, it's an elk, yeah.
Yeah,
So and the elk are huge. They're like,
yeah,
they're not as big as moose, but they're really big. The bull elk can be, I could be wrong, but I think it's, like 800 to plus pounds or whatever.
And it's amazing how those things can hide.
Yeah, it is.
Because I've been
And
real
what
close
they can
to
go through.
I've been real close to moose up in Maine. And
yeah.
We didn't even know they were there until the guide was like, "Hey, there's a bull right there." We're driving down the road. I'm like, "Where?" So he stops and gets out of the truck and calls, and you see its head move.
And they're like a darker brown than the elk. Elk kind of stand out because they got their tan butts, that are pretty. You can see,
Are there any moose in Oregon? In your
No.
area? No.
They are in Idaho, in northern Idaho.
Yeah, I knew that.
And I think northern Washington, northeast Washington, because they're close to Canada. But there's no moose here. But there's a lot of elk, and we have the big Roosevelt elk here on the
you
coast.
Guys got some really nice elk.
Yeah, they're big bodied, not as quite, their rack is not as big as far as the bulls, but boy, you can eat one for a long time. They go a long time.
I love elk meat.
Oh, it's good.
I know,
moose is the best.
Yeah, I don't think I've gotten to have any of that yet. I'm planning on going muzzleloader hunting for elk in Colorado in a couple of years.
You should.
Yeah, I got a couple of guys that do it, and I got to get my preference points racked up first. But I plan on going up there hopefully in about 2027. We should be up there.
That'd be cool. I think those are Rocky Mountain elk.
Yeah, those are the Rocky Mountain elk.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
They're
We're
changing a
going.
few things around right now because they're everybody's flocking to Colorado because a lot of places are changing their tag restrictions and stuff. So
Non-resident. Yeah.
and well, they're everybody's going to draws now. They're not giving out tags like they were in some states.
Yeah. Yeah. Our elk are that way. I think too, in some areas.
Yeah,
I think we have to go. Well, we do definitely have to go for a draw. I think on our rifle season, and I
yeah,
hunt rifle now. I don't get around as well as I used to, so um, I do the rifle season, and then David does the bow season.
Now you used
Um,
to do archery, didn't you?
I did, and I still have my bow, and I still can shoot it, and it's 50 pounds, so
Yeah.
it could still kill an elk, and I can still kill an elk. but as far as the being able to get that close, because I can shoot 40 to 60 or so, but to get that close is harder for me.
Yeah.
So and I have killed a cow elk. I haven't killed a bull elk, but I go for the rifle season, and then but we also are we got our draws for mule deer. So this
Yeah.
October we're going for our mule deer rifle hunts. So that's
Yeah, he said he got an archery tag for antelope, so that'll be
yeah, he goes. David's going for that one, not me. I don't necessarily like to do antelope. they're they're little, man, they're wild. And they're really sharp as far as their eyesight. So they don't miss anything, and they're just like boom, and they're gone. So, and that's an archery thing too. So I'm not doing that. So I'm staying here and taking care of my mom. But David's going to go the first part of August on that one.
yeah. Now, Dee Dee, was it? You remember that whole ordeal with what happened with the guy that was parked at your house?
Oh
I
yeah,
don't know if
Donnie.
yeah.
So he's a homeless guy. Well, he has a home, but it's a travel trailer, and he was having some I don't know, driveline issue, I think it was, on his truck.
Yeah.
And so he was broke down. So David gave him the okay to park his trailer down at our corner. And that's the same place where his sister Debbie and I and David walked up that trail that's up
And this is
above
by
that.
your house.
Yeah, it's right
Yeah.
by our house down at the corner where it goes to our upper part of our property. And so he parked his trailer down there for a few days, and he was working on his drive line during the day. He'd go down there, and he came down in the morning. It's like the first or second day that he was here, and asked if it was okay if he could start making noise. It was like 8 or 9 or something, and we're like, yeah, go ahead, you do what you need to do. And he said something, are you comfortable down there, is it okay? And he said, yeah, but man, I heard some noises. It was like something was, I don't know if it was the first night, or maybe David tells a better story than I and he remembers the facts better than I do. But he said something like scraped the side of his trailer
Yeah.
along. I don't know if it was like a finger nail or something,
Yeah.
or he was banging on the side of his trailer. I'm not quite sure. Um,
David had tried
but
to tell it before, and I think it cut out when he was doing
oh, yeah, of course, huh?
it.
It's like they know.
You know, I'm finding it funny how she, is not having an ounce of problems with
I
her
know,
internet.
huh?
So, what's your excuse there, Brother Blaylock?
Yeah, David.
Babe.
It's the fireball. The fireball's interrupting the
Yes, it's
service.
cutting him in and out. No, it might be his phone too. I don't know. He's got an older phone than I do. That might be the case. I don't know. But anyway, so the the noises he heard, it was just like really weird. Um he knows the woods because that's what he does. He's out in the woods most of his life. Um and he has a big dog that he has with him, and the dog just cowered when he heard the noises, and usually he'll bark, "Roar." It's like a rottweiler or something, big, a good dog, good guard dog. And he said his dog just cowered, and I don't know what it was the first night, but then it was like the second day. David said, well, how was your night last night? Was there anything happening? And he's like, oh man, it was like even more. It was more threatening to them, I guess. I don't know. It's like we have an understanding that they don't bother us here at the house, and they don't bother our dogs, and our dogs get out sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
We have a fenced yard, pretty high fence, and keeps the deer out and everything else in the yard, but they can come up to our living room windows. The deer come through all the time, right beside our living room windows, and and then they have all the rest of the property. But it's like
Oh boy. Yeah.
it was more menacing for him the second night that they they banged on the side of his trailer, or maybe the windows. Anyway, it was worse, and he was telling David about it, and um, he went, like it was like a day or two after that. He got his drive light fixed, and then he got his trailer, and he was like, he still comes back here and picks like the fiddleheads and stuff like that every year. Um, and when he comes, you will usually feed him something, so he knows there's that too if he does come back. But like he changed a tire the other day before he went over to the other area that's down by Coquille, and he stopped by and picked fiddleheads, and then I fed him, whatever I had in my refrigerator, and sent him on his way. So he still comes back. It's not like it was
Didn't
he'll never
scare him
come
off
back.
completely.
Yeah, not completely. That he won't come, but he doesn't stay. But it's like, I don't know, is there's an understanding that they don't bother us, we don't bother them. um we'll holler or make a yell or something like that sometimes, or go out, when it's dark or whatever, if we've got somebody over there who wants to go
Well,
play.
I look at it
Hi,
as like a
babe.
change. Yeah. I look at it as like a change. They're used to you being there. That trailer comes in there, and that's something different.
Yeah.
It throws them for a curveball, and they don't like it. That's probably why they must with it.
Yep.
Just be
So
my. Yeah.
David's on, he can tell the rest of the story.
Hi, babe. How are you, Mr. Babe? Oh, where'd he go?
Oh, he just
That stupid internet again.
Nah, he's still there. He just cut his camera.
Oh, he took his camera off. That's
Yeah.
better. Oh, anyway.
It's
So
okay.
that-
It's okay, brother David. You can talk.
No, I guess
Maybe
he's
not.
not gonna.
Maybe not.
So I don't know about any more stories. So he was trying to, was it you guys that he was trying to tell his
His
orb?
alien.
Yeah.
Yeah, the orb thing.
Yes.
It's probably going to
Yes.
cut out my internet. So
Hey, we're close enough to the finale. If something happens, we can just pull the.
yeah, we'll just can it. So I think he was at the point where he saw it, and then he's like, "Mom, there's a light," or something like that, and he was pointing at it, and all of a sudden she's like, "No, son, go back to sleep. You're just dreaming," or something like that. She said to him. I could be saying this all wrong, but I think this is the gist.
The point is, we can hear you word for word.
Yes, exactly. So so then it went from that to when he was like changed into a different place or something. It's almost like he thinks that it was like they beamed him up or something. I don't know. But it was just a different place of the vision that he was having or whatever, where he was standing there and he looked up to his side and he saw a I think a mom and a dad and a baby, or a baby Bigfoot and a mom and a dad, and then they were all holding hands with him. I think the baby Bigfoot was beside him, and then the mama and the dad, and then holding hands with them was an alien, like a I think he said it was almost like a ET alien, that kind of kind. I know there's different kinds or something or whatever, but I think it was that kind. Um, and then it was like gone. It was just he didn't see anything else, but he saw like certain things of it in his vision, a sight of vision, and one of the things was like the claws on the Bigfoot, and they were like pointy and black. And then I think their fur was like, or hair was like reddish color, reddish brown. Um, I'm hoping I'm getting this right, but and then it was like the ETA alien kind of. It wasn't a it's like the Signs, the movie Signs where they're reptilian or whatever. It was the ET kind, the little short kinds, the green guys. And then it went from there to he was back home, and he remembers the pajamas he was even wearing. And then in his mind, it was like, go to the kitchen and drink pickle juice, which is really weird.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So he did. And then I think that was that. And that was when he was real young, 12 or so, if I remember right. And they had they had things happen in this house that was really weird in Junction City. Like the vacuum cords were moving around when the vacuum wasn't on, kind of thing. Just really freaky kinds. And then did he tell you about the time when it was a mantis type, it said, and a blue type, then a short gray? That's what he said. You guys got it on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, good. I'm glad he put his 2 cents in there. So did he tell you about the time when the Bigfoot was knocking on the door when not knocking, it was breaking down the door of their trailer when they were younger?
Oh, I remember him talking about that in a different episode on
Yeah. Okay.
Sawdust or one of them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
So you
I
do
don't think he's
remember
told
that?
that on here.
Oh, okay. They all lived in this little mobile home. There was 6 kids, I think there was 6 at home at that point. Um, and it was a 2-bedroom with an extra room. Oh, he said it broke the door. Yeah. Um, it was an extra room that was added onto it. And him and his brother and the cats, they had little kitties that slept out in that extra room. And I think that was where that was like a plywood door that
And didn't they
they
have like a pantry
had.
or something?
A what?
Wasn't there like a pantry there?
Yes, David said yes. He's helping me. um, yes, there was a pantry there. Um, but I guess the kitties were in the window, and when they hear something, they stand with their hair straight up and their back arched and everything, and that's what was happening. And I guess there was big thumps where it was walking, and they can be quiet, they can be like non-existent, and you don't hear them unless they want you to. And this one wanted you to, because he came and was like thump, 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 and even you could hear the sound, but you could hear the vibration. It was so menacing and loud. um, and it walked up and it was trying to break the door. It did break the door, evidently, David said. And so I'm trying to just do this from memory, and I hope that I'm okay. But and then I think it was that he was like, they're trying to break down the door or something. I don't know. It was like they yelled at it, or I'm not sure. But then it was like thump, 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 and it left. But he said it broke the door. I guess they went out there the next day and the door was broken, and it wasn't necessary, like a bear, because a bear would just claw it. Didn't have posing thumbs, obviously. So, but it did it enough that it broke the door, and it was just overwhelming, when you're a kid and there's just a piece of plywood between you and it, whatever it was. I guess, it was like, his brother said the next day something about the claw marks on the door were so high that, it can't be like a bear. Because bears can, reach up to a certain height, but this was
Yeah.
like even higher. And that's what his brother said. It was like, no, Mom. Oh, no yell. It heard me open my bedroom door and I heard it run off. Oh, that's what okay. So that's what the noise was. And he was trying to open his door and it heard that little tiny, squeak of a door or whatever, or the door handle chain clicking, and it made it run off. But it was trying to break that door down. It was so overwhelmingly scary for this kid, for poor David. So his brother said the next day that it was just so high and not a bear. So, and then his mom was, it's got to be something, like it's got to be something else. But he's like, no, Mom, it was a Bigfoot or whatever. So anyway, I don't I don't know enough about the details, I guess, to tell a story. Thank you guys for bearing with me trying to tell David's stories.
We appreciate it. Yeah, we appreciate it. Where David's tried what 2 or 3 weeks in a row now.
Oh man,
He's tried.
I know, with different type of. He tried on the computer, then he tried on his phone a couple times, and with the internet here, our internet is great. He's at my son's right now in Roseburg, and he can't seem to. I don't know if it's his phone or
Well, sometimes it happens when he's at home too, so I don't know. If it's,
Yeah, it's weird.
So it could be his phone, I think.
Might be. The only
We-
time he come on the very first time he was on a computer at home, I think.
that was when he did the. That was when he was our guest host.
Yes.
Huh.
And that
Was
was
he on
frustrating. He had no trouble then.
He was on our granddaughter's computer
Yes.
that first time, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, he didn't have any problems at all.
Apparently, she's got the best
Yeah.
computer in the house.
That's the newer computer, and she has that with her all the time.
Hmm.
She's not here right now. And that's a newer computer, like I said. The
Yeah.
older computer that he tried to last week is our like dinosaur computer. And then he has almost a dinosaur phone. So I think that's the issue.
Okay. Could
So
be.
maybe it needs
Yep.
to come on.
We were a little worried about Jerry's dinosaur computer today.
Well, mine's not a dinosaur, but it sure took a licking from the stupid power company today.
Uh-oh.
It's okay. I got it going.
Yeah, the power company decided to lose power after the storm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you
No
guys had a
storm.
big storm today?
No,
Last
not at
night.
all. Nothing. We had one last night, but man, this morning the power just about 8 or 8:30, just on off, on off, on off, then boom, it was done till
Yeah,
later
something
this
must have been
afternoon.
going on down your way because I'm only like
It was
5 miles from you, and it's not. There was nothing
60,
up here.
69 homes were affected. It's not a very big quadrant, so yeah.
No, I don't even.
It's hard.
TD probably doesn't even have 69 houses up by her.
No, there's 3.
They're spread out. They're spread out here. It's probably a few miles worth, but yeah.
Oh,
There's
okay.
only like 10 houses total on my road, and I
Yeah.
think we own 4 of them.
Hmm.
5 of them.
Well, there's probably that around here too, in a mile radius. I'm sure there's got to be at least 10 or
Hmm.
15 or so. But we have really good fast internet, so I
Now,
think
did any
it's
of the neighbors ever say anything about hearing anything around you guys, or is it?
Oh, I did see some really bright lights, and they were coming up towards our we kind of have older neighbors. The caretaker, the lady that we're caretakers for, she's 96, so she goes to bed at 11 and she's done. And my mom's 84 and she goes to bed and she can't hear either, so, and she's never outside. This is when but this was toward um the north part of our house, which is east is where the homie guy stayed, on the corner, and where we usually have activity up on our property is east. So north is where I was looking one night. It was years ago, probably 7 or 8 years ago, and I was outside on my porch, and it was at night, and there was just really huge bright lights. It was almost like lightning was lighting up the whole sky to the
Damn.
north of us. And it happened a couple times, but there was no lightning or thunder. It was
That's
just
crazy.
bright light that I saw. I don't know if I called David out and look, and I think he might have saw this. I'm not sure. But that was just a real trip thing, in my mind, that there's this bright light like that out of nowhere, and no noise with it, no nothing, just the
Oh,
huge bright
okay.
light.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah.
So some trippy things have happened here, and we see like unidentified lights in the sky, quite a lot. Where, like, they're UFOs, or they're identified, and they'll shift direction too. like a complete stop and then change direction
Uh-oh.
and go the opposite way or go, a 90 degrees or something. Just a lot of trippy stuff going
Well,
on inside.
we're malfunctioning again.
Am I cutting out?
Yeah, I don't know what was happening there. It was
'Cause I'm
cutting out
talking
briefly. I don't know what was going on.
I'm talking about UFOs again.
Yeah. Here we go.
Oh, yes.
The great
That's
finale.
awesome. Yeah, at the end. Oh. Anyway, those are all the stories I have. Now you
See how
get-
easy that was, David? You couldn't do that. See that, David? See how easy that was, brother?
Poor David.
David tells the story with a little more weapons and a little more.
Oh
It's
yeah,
okay.
he's a way better storyteller than I am.
Now we got to find somebody else for next week. Cracker T. We
Yeah,
got
I
the
know.
story.
I put me in a hot seat here. I gotta get some of
you're
these
okay. We'll
people
find
lined
somebody.
up.
Well, I'm glad to be able to fill in the gap.
I better check my pulling schedule before we go get crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, your schedule might be doing something nuts next week.
Yeah.
Jerry's got to multitask. His
Sorry.
schedule's so crazy this
Guess
week.
what?
He's not even,
Guess what? We ain't doing nothing next Tuesday.
now,
I'll be up in Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania, and there's reports from there too.
well, maybe
Yes,
I'll
let's
take
do it.
Tuesday night off and go right around the peninsula.
You do that. You do that.
Ooh,
See if I hear
scare
anything.
one up.
Or go over to that alternate site across the river that we were just
Mhm.
talking about.
I can start looking in.
It's
I guess
closer
I
to
can
home.
do some traveling.
Audio recorder and cameras, please. Don't leave home without them.
I don't have
I
any
don't leave home
cameras.
without them.
I don't have any good cameras, but I got audio recorders.
Just get a. Well, I can fix you up. How many video cameras you want?
I
I've
was
got
gonna say,
tons
you
of them.
got- you-
I got plenty.
I need something, that looks like a 70s model with the big. so I
Yes.
can walk around like a.
This little bugger right here will do all you need it to do. Right here. It's easy, light. Doesn't even weigh
That way,
maybe
if
a
I
pound.
get drug off the side of the road by one, I
Yeah.
find it next to the truck.
Yeah,
Is that like a
It's-
night vision, Jerry?
it's just a regular video camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But-
do you guys have night vision? Anything that?
Not yet.
No.
Not yet. I'm gonna get some thermal.
Yeah.
And some night vision. Jerry's got a parabolic,
Ooh,
and then we got some recorders.
yeah.
Jerry also has dash cams and everything.
After the eye shine incident back in 2020, I said, "That's it. I'm putting a dash cam in every damn thing I own, and I have."
I
So,
bet.
I ain't
Well, I
missing
just
anymore.
used my phone when we were at LBO, when we went out with Scott and Pat
Mhm.
and David and I just used my phone and recorded, and we got some sounds that were really awesome. I thought Scott was too. He and Pat were having fun with that one, and he sent the recording to us.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys got some good ones on that.
I have
Yeah, we
gimbals. I have gimbals too. Put your cell phone on it, keeps it level.
Yeah.
Yep. I got 2 of them. Yep.
Well,
Hopefully
I'm gonna.
we can all. I want to try to get to the next one they're having whenever that. There's talking about doing one this fall, but I'm gonna be hunting that week. I think.
I am gonna sign off, you guys.
Okay. We appreciate
All right.
you coming on, Dee Dee. Thank you.
Okay,
Now that we-
you're welcome. Talk
Now
to
we
you
got
later.
the rest of the story.
Yes, now you have the rest of the
Absolutely.
story.
Thank you,
Awesome.
Dee Dee.
Thank you very much.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay. Good night.
Bye.
Well, it's good night here, but good evening there, I guess. It's still early there. What's 3
It's
hours
still
back?
early there.
It ain't even 7 o'clock in the evening there. It's almost 10 o'clock here.
I know.
Wow. But
Yeah, so you got a show next week?
I actually will be out of town. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, not out of town. Be gone and back that day, but it'll be.
Well, that'll give me some time to work on lining people up for.
Yeah, you're fine. It's all good. It's all good.
And I can do some poking around next week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty late night for me getting back home from Schuylkill County,
yeah.
Pennsylvania. Yeah. And maybe the dash cam will pick something up because I go through some pretty wild areas between here and there, coming down off that mountain, especially. Oh yeah, yeah. There's I watched a couple shows. I don't remember what they are. It's been a couple years ago, but there's a woodsman up there, so to speak, traveling something. I forget what his name is. He does a lot of Pennsylvania stuff, parks and stuff, but he's got right off the roadway up there, up on that mountain that I got to go over. He's not specifically into Bigfoot, but he has made mention of some creepy stuff there at this one little park. So maybe I'll get lucky and catch some. Not that I'm looking for it, but it's a pretty cool area up there. Pretty woolly. So we'll see. Be one of them drive-bys.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I sent him a message. It was bugger related.
bugger related. Okay. We're at an hour and 42 minutes, brother. I got a big day tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow night.
I got this little rascal down here that's still trying to fight me.
He's I don't know. He's been pretty well behaved. That's it. Sock him a good one. A little Bigfooter in the making here.
I know he actually stole my earpiece for a while and was listening to that. He was over in the chair with my hat for a while.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I hate getting off here because I hate cutting the chat off.
I know.
I really got to get some rest. I really do. I got a big day tomorrow. So.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. You got anything else on your mind there, Cracker Tea, before we get out of here?
Not so much tonight. I'm really happy that I'm finally getting more people that are talking.
Yeah, I think so. And I've got a couple of calls to make too, as I've mentioned before. I'll get to it, I promise.
And I'm working on. I got some people help me work on the dog man.
The Dueyo.
Yeah, I'm trying to get her to help us get that woman to talk to me. So
yeah, I want to dig into that Dueyo Snallygaster stuff too. I bet that's some interesting story.
It kind of perked my ears up when I heard the one guy talk about seeing something in the Pocomoke.
Yeah, that's not David. Absolutely, thank you, man.
And thank you, Dee Dee.
I think we're going to get you. I think we're going to get you one as a third. What did I call him? Guest co-host again.
Yeah.
Let's see how that works for you.
We're gonna have to
For sure.
If I have to fly him out here once in a while to get service.
Connect 10 is your internet buddy. Did I say that? I'm advertising.
We need Rivers Portal.
Yeah.
Everyone can just portal to my house.
There you go. It'd be a lot quicker, wouldn't it?
Live interview.
Yep. But yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, you get with your folks. I'll make my phone calls as soon as the first chance I get, and then we'll. You're going to try that karate on you.
I think a lot after summer's over and everybody's not as busy.
Yeah, and I get about mid-October, mid to late October is when I can start.
Yeah.
Focusing more on stuff like this. So. I mean, it's all every day. It's on my mind every day.
And I'll be in the And I'm sure, since I'm gonna be in the woods more that time of year, I'll
You got to be on my
be
shoulders.
running that stuff.
Yeah, hey, you never
Stop
know. Never
chewing
say
on
never.
that. Quit chewing on that.
So anyway,
Augie, you want to say goodbye to everybody tonight? Huh?
you gonna take us out of here, Augie?
Augie, you want to sign us off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's daddy time now. Is it daddy? Get off this thing. It's time to go.
He's trying to figure out how to turn it off.
I tell you what, there's a whole lot of love in the chat tonight. I can tell you that.
Hey,
Did you try to shut it off?
he just pulled the plug.
Yeah, okay. It's all good. All right. Well, I appreciate, we appreciate everybody being in here tonight. Like, subscribe, share. Get over to that Facebook page for us, man. I still can't get it linked over to here yet. I didn't post the link over on the page, but
Yeah.
they changed some settings, and until it gets X amount of followers or whatever, it won't tie into our live show.
Go back to bed.
But anyway,
Go over
I'll go post the link over there. And people can watch it from there. So.
Yep.
But anyway, all right.
We appreciate everybody.
Yeah, we really do. We're still young at this, but we're having fun. Of course, we watch all of you all the time, so it's a lot of fun. Local stuff, man. We just got to keep plugging these people. We've got some stories, and we've got some pretty cool other stuff that we can't show. We just out of respect for the people, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a couple of really good things. But,
unfortunately, we
just
gotta
have to wait.
respect people's wishes, so we get,
Live kangaroo hunting. That would be interesting.
Is that River?
Yeah. Well, it's Greg talking.
Greg. Yeah, Greg. We were talking about the live kangaroo hunting the other night.
Yep. Keep on keeping on. You bet. Again, David, we appreciate it, brother. All right. Jeff, we're going to get out of here. Probably it'll be a couple weeks. Not next week, but the following Tuesday we'll be back. Hopefully,
And
loaded for bear. And
I can line some.
Yep.
I can line some people up. Hey.
He's got to get his 2 cents in too now. We appreciate Dee Dee coming in here too, and telling the rest of the story too. That was pretty cool. Appreciate that.
Yeah, that was.
Yep. She had to come and bail Babe out.
Someone could tell the story.
That's right. Tell the rest of the story. All right. So in 2 weeks we'll be back, and I guess we'll see everybody then, Jeff. See you.
Yep.
Thank you.